I won 10 million in the lottery, but it was fake. At the company holiday party, everyone got a prank scratch-off ticket. Each one would win $100 million. I thought it was boring and didn't scratch it, just brought it home. But when I came out of the shower, I found the scratch-off was gone, and my wife Jessica had an excited expression on her face. I was about to tell her the lottery ticket was fake, when my mother-in-law Karen suddenly burst through the door. Divorce him immediately, Jessica. Eve. Always said this loser doesn't deserve you, now you're a multi-millionaire. There are so many good men in the world for you to choose from. Jessica agreed without hesitation. Got it, Mom. I already made the appointment, we'll go tomorrow. Then she turned to look at me with a naive expression. You're not going to say that scratch-off is yours, are you? I already checked, scratch-offs are bearer instruments, whoever has it owns it. Karen was right behind her. Exactly. You loser are no longer worthy of my daughter. My heart instantly turned cold. I turned and put away the gift I'd bought for her with my $1 million year-end bonus. And she thinks I'm not worthy of her. She won't be getting any of these things, did you hear me? Pack your shit and get out, you're a grown man. You're not going to cling to the house after divorce, are you? Karen pointed at me with smug satisfaction all over her face. Sure, my daughter has money now, but she's not stupid. After all these years of suffering with you, asking for some compensation for emotional distress is perfectly normal. I stood there frozen, looking at Jessica, taking a long moment to react. You really want to divorce me? Jessica glanced at me, her eyes full of undisguised disgust. That's right. Married to you for 5 years, I haven't even carried a single Hermes bag. What use are you, since you never gave me a good life? Now that I have money and want a divorce, isn't that what you asked for? I suddenly felt utterly ridiculous. 5 years of marriage, I handed over my entire $50,000 monthly salary without fail. Even the house and car we bought after marriage were all in her name only. Though the bags I gave her weren't her mess, they cost several times more than her mess. And yet she still says I never gave her a good life. Seeing me silent, Karen thought I was refusing and immediately exploded. You're not thinking of stealing my daughter's lottery ticket, are you? That's my daughter's money, it has nothing to do with you. I usually don't work hard to make money for my daughter. And now you're eyeing my daughter's money, shameless. People outside all say Jessica married a freeloader. I think they're absolutely right. Jessica turned around. Mom, stop it, it's embarrassing enough. Will be nothing once we're divorced. They didn't know the company had already decided to promote me to general manager with 5% company shares. If not for this incident, Jessica would have been the wife of a wealthy man. But now she doesn't have that fortune. I looked at them mockingly, speaking coldly. The scratch-off was from the company party for me. All my colleagues can testify to that. Jessica quickly protected her pocket and kicked me. Are you crazy for money, Michael? Can't you have some dignity? Scratch-offs are bearer instruments, whoever has it owns it. Just then a figure suddenly rushed in from outside. He excitedly picked up Jessica. Jess, is it true? Did you really win 100 million? The person was my good buddy Brandon Miller. Back when I was pursuing Jessica, he gave me lots of advice. But I never expected him to now be holding Jessica right in front of me, and after learning she won, Jessica's first move was to share the good news with him. Their relationship was obvious. Jessica didn't pretend anymore either. She hooked her arms around Brandon's neck intimately. It's true, Brandon, I'll support you from now on, okay? I think it's because you kissed me today that I had the luck to win. So this prize money should rightfully be partly yours too. My head was buzzing. The scratch-off was taken from me. The winning had nothing to do with me but Brandon, who she cheated with. Get a share just for being intimate with her. Seeing this scene, I felt genuinely sick and nauseous. I remembered when I first met her, she was feeding stray cats. That kindness and innocence deeply attracted me. So I pursued her for 3 years. I especially cherished her. I remembered a few years ago when the company business was bad. I felt guilty that I couldn't buy her gifts with my year-end bonus. Now we finally made it through. The company gave me a $10 million bonus, but I never expected a fake lottery ticket would show me how laughable my efforts had been. I took a deep breath. Divorce is fine. What about the baby in your belly? Just then, Jessica suddenly covered her mouth and rushed to the bathroom, followed by sounds of vomiting. Karen quickly followed. Damn it, it's that little bastard in your belly. Again, when she came over to me, she pushed me away. Don't touch my daughter. The big loser is disgusting. The little bastard is revolting. After Jessica finished throwing up, she looked at her belly with disgust. I don't want this baby. Hearing her say this, I actually felt relieved, though I felt sorry for the child. Thinking about having no more ties with her after divorce made me smile. She frowned while taking out her phone to book the surgery. Even at 3 months, I'm getting rid of it. Why should I, a multimillionaire, have a baby for this loser? Karen immediately agreed. Right. Get rid of it. We have money now. We can have as many babies as we want later. I pretended to be angry. You cheated with Brandon during our marriage. Shouldn't you leave with nothing? She instantly exploded. Michael, Are you even a man? You clearly didn't give me enough security in the marriage. That's why I liked Brandon. You're the one at fault. You should be the one leaving with nothing. Brandon heard this and gently hugged her waist. Jess, actually the baby might be mine. Remember last month when Michael was on a business trip? We had quite a few sessions. Right here, why don't we get a DNA test? If it's mine, let's get married immediately, okay? Last month I suddenly remembered. That night when I video called Jessica, she was sweating and panting. She said she was exercising. So this was the kind of exercise she meant. Only now did I realize. My good buddy, Brandon, had been sleeping with my wife behind my back all along. Seeing me silent, Jessica, afraid I wouldn't agree, shrieked. Michael, this is not up to you. If you agree to divorce, I might make a concession and give you the house. Hearing this, I pretended to be hurt and nodded. Fine, I'll take the house. Let's go. Divorce now. Hearing my words, Jessica walked extremely fast, afraid I might suddenly change my mind. Courthouse clerk handed over a stack of documents. Have you agreed on property division? Jessica grabbed the pen and quickly wrote. House goes to Michael. No need to split savings. This poor guy doesn't have much money anyway. Karen nodded beside us, mocking. Getting a house for free from a divorce. Michael, you really are something. I said nothing. Just signed expressionlessly the moment both parties signed. Jessica breathed a huge sigh of relief. Hugged Brandon to go to the hospital. Karen suddenly turned to look at me. We haven't gotten the divorce certificate, yet you must come along too. If signatures are needed, you must unconditionally sign, otherwise my daughter will take back the house anytime. I held back my disgust and agreed. After all, I still needed to keep more solid evidence of Jessica's infidelity. The doctor looked at the ultrasound report and pushed up his glasses. For a non-invasive prenatal paternity test, it usually takes 7 working days. If you pay for expedited service, you can get results within 2 days. Jessica blurted out, I have plenty of money, now expedited immediately. If the baby is Michael's, arrange an abortion right away. Abortion. A voice came from the hallway. My mom came running over, panting while holding her medical report. Jess, you want to abort my grandchild? I just remembered she happened to be at the hospital for a checkup today. I didn't expect her to run into us. Jessica sneered, your son and I are divorced. Whether I abort is my decision. You have no say. Mom rushed forward to grab Jessica's hand. Did Michael bully you? Tell Mom. Jessica pushed hard. What, Mom? You're not my mom anymore. Fasting. Now that you know I have money, you're pretending. Haha. None of you can leech off me. Mom staggered back several steps, suddenly holding her head, face turning pale. Mom, I quickly supported her. It's okay. If she wants to abort, let her. I can handle it. Mom trembled in my arms, lips turning purple. Don't abort. Karen pointed at my mom and cursed, old hag. Even if you drop dead here, my daughter won't stay with your useless son. Besides, the baby in my daughter's belly might not even be your son's. Hearing this, Mom's face became even more pained. I thought something was wrong. These were signs of a stroke. I urgently called for help. My mom is having a stroke. Someone come quickly. Brandon just laughed mockingly. Just don't believe them. They just found out you have money and want to extort you before the divorce. Such crude tactics. After hearing this, Jessica looked at me mockingly. Your mom is scamming. Besides, I didn't use much force. Even if she really dies, it's not my business. I was stunned. My mom usually treated her better than her own son, not only taking care of her 3 meals a day, but even giving her retirement savings for vacations. After learning she was pregnant, she immediately bought 100 grams of gold jewelry to give her. But now she could say such outrageous things. Before I could react, she hurriedly left with Brandon and Karen. I didn't bother with her anymore, instead urgently getting my mom to the emergency room. Half an hour later, I saw Brandon's new social media post. In the video, Jessica and Brandon were kissing in the city's most expensive bar, shouting drinks on us for everyone. The bar's consumption wasn't cheap, at least $20,000 per person. I sneered and immediately cut off all the family credit cards and credit limits I'd opened for Jessica. Sure enough, a few hours later, Jessica called me furiously. Michael, why did you cancel my cards? Get over here and pay the bill right now. I laughed in disbelief. We're getting divorced and you still want me to pay your bills? Jessica, do you really think I'm brain dead? She paused, then said, I'll pay you back tomorrow when I cash in the ticket. It's just $5 million. Are you really going to be petty about this? I said nothing. Just hung up and blocked her. Does she really think I'll still spoil her like before? Does she really think all that money is hers? After hanging up, I made another call. Hello, Detective Wilson. I have a case for you. The next morning, I stayed by Mom's bedside. Her face was pale, still unconscious. The situation was bad. The doctor said she'd suffered mental trauma and physical impact, needing good rest to hopefully wake up. I nodded and went out to buy breakfast, only to see Jessica and the others. I just remembered the hospital was close to the lottery office. They saw me and stopped. Jessica looked at me resentfully. $5 million. And you blocked me? You're really something. Making me write an IOU to the bar in front of everyone. saying I'd pay today once I cashed the ticket. I'll definitely settle this with you. With her were several heavily made-up girlfriends. I told Jessica to stay away from them, but apparently, she'd been secretly keeping in touch. They glanced at me dismissively. Heard your mom had a stroke and is in the hospital, cost thousands a day in there. If you don't have money, just pull her home to die. Look at his sour face, probably here to beg Jess for mercy, asking for charity to save his mom. Jess, don't go soft. This loser and his family should just die. Brandon hugged her waist. Jess, let's go cash the ticket. Once we have the money, we'll slowly settle accounts with this loser. Jessica's eyes lit up with excitement at the mention of cashing the ticket. Mocking. Michael, without me you're nothing. Today I'll show you what 100 million looks like. It'll kill you with envy. Karen also followed smugly, saying exactly. We don't need you here bringing down the mood. Karen sniffed, adjusting her faux fur coat that had seen better days. Come on, sweetie. Let's go get what's ours. I watched them strut toward the elevator, a motley crew of delusion and greed. Jessica, Brandon, Karen, and the chorus of parasitic friends. They looked like they were heading to a coronation. In reality, they were walking into a buzzsaw. I didn't stop them. Why would I? I bought a coffee and a bagel from the cafeteria and went back to my mother's room. She was still asleep, the steady beep of the monitor the only sound in the room. I held her hand, watching the rhythmic rise and fall of her chest. You're going to be okay, Mom, I whispered. And you're going to see justice. My phone buzzed. It was a text from my assistant at the company. Boss, did you see the group chat? Everyone is asking about the prank tickets. Apparently, someone tried to cash one at a gas station this morning and got laughed out of the store. I smiled. The lottery tickets were high-quality prints, part of a company-wide gag gift for the billion-dollar-year theme party. The back of the ticket, in very fine print, read, value, one high five and a sense of humor. Not legal tender. Jessica hadn't scratched the back. She had just seen the $100 million winner on the front and lost her mind. An hour later, my phone rang again. It was a local number I didn't recognize. I let it go to voicemail. Then it rang again. And again. Finally, I picked up. Michael. It was Jessica. But gone was the arrogance. Her voice was shrill, panicked, vibrating with a hysteria I had never heard before. Michael, come to the lottery center. Now. Why? I asked calmly, taking a sip of coffee. Are you busy counting your millions? They called the police, she screamed. They said I'm trying to commit fraud. They said the ticket is fake. You knew, didn't you? You bastard, you knew. Of course I knew, I said. I tried to tell you last night. I tried to tell you this morning. But you were too busy planning your divorce and insulting my mother. You set me up. She was sobbing now. Brandon is in handcuffs. They think we forged it. You have to come explain. Tell them it's a prank. Tell them. Sorry, Jessica. I said, my voice cold. I'm busy pulling my dying mother home, remember? Since I can't afford the hospital bills. I hung up. I didn't go to the lottery center, but I heard about it. It made the local news. Couple arrested for attempted fraud with fake lottery ticket. The security footage of Jessica screaming at the clerk while Brandon tried to fight a security guard went viral locally. They were released a few hours later, but the humiliation was absolute. The bar she had racked up a $20,000 tab at was threatening legal action. Her friends, the ones who had mocked me, had vanished into the ether the moment the handcuffs came out. And then there was the silence. For 2 days, I didn't hear from Jessica. I spent my time at the hospital and at the office. My promotion was officially announced. General manager. A new corner office, a significant raise, and the stock options. My life was taking off just as hers was crashing into the mountain. On the 3rd day, Mom woke up. She was weak, her speech slurred, but she was there. Michael, she whispered, squeezing my hand. Where is Jessica? She's gone, Mom, I said gently. We're divorced. Mom closed her eyes. A single tear leaked out. She was so cruel. I know. But it's over now. We're going to be okay. That evening, I went back to the house. My house, now legally mine per the divorce agreement she had so eagerly signed. It was a wreck. She had trashed it before leaving for the lottery center. Clothes everywhere, broken dishes, lipstick on the mirror. Loser scrawled in red across the bathroom glass. I called a cleaning service. Throw everything out, I told them. Everything that isn't mine. I want it gone. As I was supervising the cleanup, the doorbell rang. I opened it to find Jessica standing there. She looked like a ghost. No makeup, hair messy, wearing sweatpants. Brandon wasn't with her. Karen wasn't with her. Michael, she said, her voice trembling. Can I come in? No, I said, blocking the doorway. Please, she whispered. I have nowhere to go. My mom kicked me out because of the bar debt. Brandon left me. He said I humiliated him. And I'm pregnant, she said, looking up at me with big, teary eyes. Michael, the DNA test. We don't have the results yet. It could be yours. Do you really want your child on the streets? I laughed. It was a dry, humorless sound. Jessica, 3 days ago you were booking an abortion because you didn't want a loser's baby. Now suddenly it's a precious life. I was confused. The money, it messed with my head. She tried to grab my hand. We can fix this. You still have your job, right? We can start over. I'll be good. I promise. I looked at her. I looked at the woman I had loved for 5 years, the woman I had worked myself to the bone for. And I felt nothing. No angst. No cut. Just indifference. I have my job, I said. Actually, I have a better job. General manager. 5% equity. Her eyes widened. The greed flickered back to life for a split second before she masked it. See? We're meant to be. You're successful, I'm your wife. Ex-wife, I corrected. And about the baby. I pulled a folded piece of paper from my pocket. I had stopped by the clinic earlier that day. Expedited service is amazing when you actually have money. The results came in this morning. I handed her the paper. She snatched it, scanning the lines frantically. Her face fell. Exclusion. 0% probability of paternity. It's Brandon's, I said. Go find him. Maybe he'll take you in. No. She crumpled the paper. This is wrong. Michael, please. I have nothing. The bar is suing me. My credit cards are canceled. You signed the divorce papers, I said, stepping back. You gave me the house. You wanted a clean break. You got it. I started to close the door. Michael, she screamed, throwing herself against the wood. I love you. I always loved you. Goodbye, Jessica. I slammed the door and locked the deadbolt. I listened to her sobbing on the porch for 10 minutes before she finally walked away. 6 months passed. My life transformed. The new position was demanding but rewarding. I moved Mom into a specialized rehabilitation center, where she received top-tier care. She was walking again, talking normally, making friends with the other residents. I sold the old house. Too many bad memories. I bought a condo downtown, overlooking the city lights. A bachelor pad, sleek and modern. I started dating again. Slowly. Cautiously. I met a woman named Sarah, a pediatric nurse who took care of my mom during her first week. She was kind, grounded, and funny. On our first date, we split the bill. On the second date, we walked in the park and ate ice cream. It was simple. It was real. One afternoon, I was walking out of an upscale restaurant with a client when I saw a familiar figure bussing tables. It was Brandon. He looked rough. He had lost weight, and there was a bruise on his cheek. He saw me in my tailored suit, saw the expensive watch on my wrist, and froze holding a tray of dirty dishes. I nodded at him. Just a slight tilt of the head. He looked down, shame coloring his face, and hurried back into the kitchen. I later learned through the grapevine that Jessica hadn't fared much better. The bar had sued her, garnishing whatever wages she made working retail. She moved into a cramped apartment with Karen, and from what I heard, their screaming matches were legendary in the neighborhood. She kept the baby. A boy. She posts pictures of him sometimes, captions about my little prince, but the background is always cluttered and dim. Brandon wants nothing to do with them. Part 4. The final encounter. A year later, I was at a charity gala sponsored by my company. Sarah was on my arm, looking stunning in a blue dress. Mom was there too, sitting at a table, laughing with the CEO's wife. I stepped out to the balcony for some fresh air. Michael. I turned around. Standing near the service entrance, wearing a catering uniform, was Jessica. She looked older. Tired lines around her eyes. Her hands were red and chapped. Jessica, I said. It felt like saying the name of a stranger. You look good, she said softly, clutching a tray of empty champagne flutes. I saw you on the news. Businessman of the Year. Thank you. I messed up, Michael, she said, tears welling up. I think about it every day. That ticket, it ruined my life. No, Jessica, I said, leaning against the railing. The ticket didn't ruin your life. It just revealed who you really were. The ticket was just a piece of paper. The greed, the cruelty, the betrayal, that was all you. She flinched. Is that Sarah inside? She looks nice. She is. She's wonderful. Does she know? Jessica asked bitterly. Does she know you're a multimillionaire? I smiled. No. She thinks I'm a mid-level manager. She thinks I drive a Honda. And she loves me anyway. Jessica stared at me, the realization of what she had lost hitting her like a physical blow. She had chased the illusion of wealth and lost the reality of love. Sarah had chosen the man and would get the world. I have to get back to work, Jessica whispered. Good luck, Jessica. She turned to leave, but stopped. Michael, if that ticket had been real, would you have stayed with me? I thought about it. I thought about the woman who screamed at my dying mother. I thought about the infidelity. If that ticket had been real, I said honestly, you would have left me even faster, and I would have let you go. She nodded, a single tear rolling down her cheek, and disappeared back into the kitchen. I turned back to the party. Through the glass doors, I saw Sarah looking for me. She spotted me and smiled, her face lighting up the room. I walked back inside, leaving the cold night air behind me. I had won the lottery, after all. It just didn't come on a scratch-off ticket.